Hey, what's up YouTube, Still Toad, and today we're going to be talking about the Crystal Star Mantra, also called the Krystala, also called the Christ Code, spelled with a K, all these things, of course. Also called the something or another. Anyway, so what does it do? First of all, let's discover the history of this mantra. The mantra is itself Ka, Ra, Ya, Sa, Ta, Ah, La. It can also be Ka, Ra, Ya, Sa, Ta, Ha, La. And the difference between the two, according to the... Now let's get into the history really quick. This came from one person. This was only back in 2009, I think, that this mantra was invented. And it was invented, it was not discovered, it was invented. Come on, let's be real. And this person perpetuated it on their website called Ascension Glossary. Okay, so this website's called Ascension Glossary. That's where all of the information about the Crystal Star Mantra comes from. Okay, as well as various other things. And you'll notice once you read any article on this website, it is really full of words that you don't understand. And actually, these words have very simple meanings, but these words are defined by a bunch of other words that don't really mean anything that we know of, that are defined by a bunch of other words that goes in this big circle, basically, with the definitions of these words. And essentially, it's jargon. It's not just jargon, though. It's almost meaningless jargon that's on this website. Well, I mean, everything, all the words have meaning, but they could be described much simpler with a simpler terminology, instead of abbreviating everything as things like the double diamond Christ code, or the double diamond rainbow body, or the, or having like 10 different names for the Crystal Star Mantra on this website. They called it, the crystal of the Crystal Star, the krystal, the, fucking lots of things, okay? Basically, it's all jargon. But enough people have seen it and viewed it on a YouTube channel called Spirit Science, which kind of bought into this without really doing any research on it, because it's what they kind of do with a lot of stuff on this channel called Spirit Science. But enough people have heard about it, especially within the New Age movement that follows the channels like Spirit Science and goes to websites like Ascension Glossary, that it's within the collective consciousness now. It's formed its own paradigm. Basically, this website has formed its own paradigm around this Crystal Star Mantra being the 7 tones of creation. That's what it's described as. The 7 original tones of creation. And on this website, it is also symbolized by a 6-pointed star. So 2 triangles laced together, as well as, various Metatron cubes. They have lots of artwork for it. It all breaks down to basically a 6-pointed star. Because this is such a young paradigm, now paradigms are all made up. Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, all the gods, all the goddesses, Norse mythology, it's all made up. It exists because we believe in it. So, that being said, I have been using this Crystal Star Mantra, the Ka, Ra, Ya, Sa, Ta, Ah, La, and Ha, La at the end, in various ways, in various practices, in various meditations, without believing in it, knowing that it's a bogus thing, okay? And I've done various experimentations with other people as well, by acting like I do believe in it. So I kind of lie to them. I tell them, as if it's fact, that this is, the 7 tones of creation, and you use the Ka, Ra, Ya, Sa, Ta, Ah, La for the 7 chakras, and you can align them that way, and there's 2 separate flows and everything. I've said lots of things like that, basically to see if placebo effect will increase the effectiveness of this, because me not believing in it kind of it negates any placebo effect that would be within this experiment for me, because I researched it before I started doing it, and the placebo was not really there for me. But yet, without the placebo effect from this mantra, it still works. That's the thing. It still works to achieve something. So first of all, let's cover what this mantra does. Basically, it will alleviate perceived as negative emotions. So negative emotions we consider to be sadness, anger, depression, doubt, nervousness, anxiety, and etc., etc., etc. This mantra, when you chant it, and you want to chant it in kind of a musical pattern, because all mantras are better when they're music. Our brains respond to music. When you chant this mantra, it alleviates those feelings. But that's not all it does, because it is not a relaxer by any means. You see, with anxiety, you'll be anxious and doubtful. That's what anxiety is, when you don't think that you can quite hit the mark. And when you are kind of afraid of failure. You're scared of something. What this mantra does, it will convert any of that into this sense of raw power within yourself. When I do this mantra for extended periods of time, I'll drop into this maniacal laughter that I can't stop. Also, this is the thing. I've been talking this entire video, as you know, because you've been listening to me talk this entire video. My cheeks don't tingle, my forehead doesn't tingle, neither does my nose or my forearms. All of those things, as well as various other parts of my body, tingle when I chant the Crystal Star mantra. And I don't know why that is. I can only assume that it's some sort of energy buildup from the mantra itself. Or maybe it's just placebo. Maybe it's just all in my head. Whether or not that's true, it still works to achieve a goal. So, or at least it does for me, and if it does for me, I'm sure it can for other people as well, and whoever it doesn't, that's like, fine, you don't have to use it, it's whatever. Just to get that out of the way. Essentially, it fills you with a sense of power. Now, it's different than the sense of power that you would get from chanting something like, you know, perhaps Ra, Ma, Da, Sa, Sa, Se, So, Hum. Because what that essentially does is, it's Sanskrit. That's a Sanskrit mantra, very different than how this Karayasata Hala mantra was, you know, formulated. Very different. This is Sanskrit. So the Ramadasa mantra, it basically means sun, moon, stars, I am they, or I am he. Basically, the mantra you're saying is you're repeating an affirmation to yourself saying, I am God. I am part of God. I am part of the divine. I am divine. That's essentially what the mantra means. Whether or not you understand Sanskrit, I still think it works to achieve that goal, because that's the sense that you get when you chant it without knowing what it means. I didn't know what it means when I first started chanting it, just to see how it affected me, and it affected me exactly how it was described in the translation. So, in that way, I've tested the Rama, Da, Sa, Sa, Se, So, Hung mantra, and that is more of a sense of fire within yourself. It's a sense of raw power. It almost makes you want to, you know, get up and hit a punching bag or something. It fills you with this physical, you know, raw type of energy. But the Crystal Star mantra fills you with a very different type of energy. Rather than with fire, it's almost as though the Crystal Star mantra fills you with ice. And I say that, and having made videos about the elements of ice and fire and saying various statements about them, it's sort of interrelated, but that's not why I'm describing it this way. Pretty much, it's like power that is gone mad. It's power that's gone mad. Not mad as in destructive, or mad as in I'm gonna kill stuff. It's what this mantra instills within me, at least, when I have done it, and when I still do it, because it's proven to me, at least, to be effective, is this sense of power with insanity. So, it's power, as in, after you chant this mantra for a long time, you're sure that you're powerful over everything. You are positive of it. You're positive that you have the universe in your hands. At the same time, that's where this maniacal laugh comes from. You lose your bearings on having bearings in the first place. All of that goes away. It's like you lose your mind. So there is something very strange about it that could be perceived as negative or dangerous. I don't think that it is. I'm not going to judge a state of consciousness just because it can be described as insanity, nor will I judge insanity just because it's described as unhealthy by some. But simply I'm saying that this is a powerful mantra, and it is very hard to describe the way that it affects you, but it does affect you. Now, in the original the original paradigm or script for this mantra, for this crystal star mantra, they have, 7 different colored dots aligned in the heart like this. I'm not really sure which color they are because I'm really, really colorblind, like extremely colorblind. But pretty much, they had it here. And then in other pictures, they have the 6 tones around a 6-pointed star with La in the middle, which is the last one, Kara Yasa Ta Ha La. So, yeah. But then other people use it as a way to align chakras, okay, that follow this same paradigm. The paradigm gets lost, it gets remolded, eventually it solidifies, the new way is formed, the new way has to fall, it falls into meaninglessness again, just as is described in the Red Book by Carl Jung. That's the same thing that happens here. But, yeah, you can use it to align your chakras that way, and I find that it's pretty effective for aligning your chakras, just by, experience of using each individual sound as a mantra for the chakras. So, kind of as a, what's it called? I forget what it's called. Not beta, but anyway. But as a mantra for each chakra. So Ka would be the crown chakra, Ra would be the third eye, Ya would be the throat chakra, Sa would be the heart chakra, Ta would be the solar plexus chakra, Ha would be the sacral chakra, and La would be the root chakra, or the mantras for each one. And the way that I find this particularly interesting is because when you look at your heart is the pump for your whole body. Okay, your heart pumps all the blood around your whole body. It pumps all the oxygen from your lungs with the blood like that. It's your heart is circulating all the energy, so it's where the power comes from. It might not be where the where the blood itself comes from, but it's where the power comes from at least. And then where the focus comes from is the solar plexus chakra, which is where your adrenal glands are. It makes sense. The sacral chakra is around where our sexual organs are, so it makes sense as well to align them as organs. And the root chakra, I don't have an explanation for. But then you look at the throat chakra, and that's the same place as the thymus, okay? And the thymus is responsible for regulation of emotions. And it's supposed to be the chakra for communication. Now, if you cannot properly communicate your feelings and your thoughts, and if your throat chakra or center of communication is closed, then it would make sense that physiologically you could fall into hormonal imbalances, and a lot of people do have hormonal imbalances nowadays. So it kind of makes sense. The chakra system kind of makes sense. Now, it also makes sense because Sa is a Sanskrit word. It's a now, as you know, Ramada Sa Se So Hum. Ramada Sa Se So Hum. What does Sa mean in Sanskrit? It means the pure divinity, that which is indescribable. It means the indescribable God. Okay? Your heart chakra is the pump for everything. It's the power. So that kind of actually makes sense. But then you look at something like Ka Ra, Ra being the mantra for the Sanskrit mantra for your, okay, Ra being the crystal star mantra for the third eye, but in Sanskrit, Ra means sun, okay? Does it mean moon? It either means sun or moon, which is also kind of interesting because the third eye is the eye that sheds light on that which cannot be seen. The Gospel of Thomas says, rest assured, roughly, it says, rest assured, nothing that is unseen will not become seen. So everything that is unseen will become seen, alright? And it says that multiple times just to rephrase it and get it clear that everything that is unseen will become seen. And so it being the mantra in Sanskrit for sun and the third eye mantra in the crystal star sort of makes sense. Sheds light on that which is dark. Now, there are other things that don't line up in the crystal star mantra if you're going by a Sanskrit paradigm. So, historically, it has no bearings. Within, any magical or spiritual traditions, it also has no bearings. it only has bearings in the fact that I perceive it as being something effective by using it, okay? And another thing is, and this could be mental training. In fact, it probably is mental training. But when I vibrate the tones in the 7 original creation tones, the crystal star, I can actually feel it in each chakra center, which is actually why I came up with but why I led myself to the concept that they are for aligning the chakras. And various other people believe that as well, but that was not ever on the original site. That's just something that I experienced, and I was like, oh, it must be for aligning the chakras. So yeah, that was all I know about the Crystal Star Mantra. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go check out Ascension Glossary, see what you have to think of it yourself. Try out this Crystal Star Mantra yourself and see how it affects you. I would like to hear the results of your experimentations, and yeah, goodbye.